If you cast your mind back to 2017, I got a Honda NB50 Vision 1985 that my wife got me for my birthday. Made a couple of videos on it at the time. It just needed fresh fuel basically, and it started and ran. I got it MOT ready, took it for an MOT, and then parked it up because I didn't have a license to drive, well, to ride it at that point. I now do, and have had for a couple of years, so I thought it would probably be worth getting it back on the road again. Workshop's a bit of a mess, I'm sorry about that, but I've been working on it. I didn't film quite a bit of it because it was just one of those things where I get 2 minutes, run outside, grab something, take it in, and then fix it up, put it back on, like the carb, for example. I've rebuilt the carb. I say rebuilt it, I've just took it apart and cleaned it. I haven't replaced anything on it. It now runs again. It just needed the carb clean. I've replaced the back tyre, which you can't really see there. Front wheel is off at the moment. It's got a new tyre on it. I've painted the wheels as well. I'm basically just tidying it up a bit. I've got a replacement front mudguard for it, but I don't think I'm going to fit it yet because it's a lot more scratched up than this one. So what I'm probably going to do is fix the cracks. There's one there, and one up there as well. Try and fix the cracks from the back and probably spray up the front, and the back's got black paint on it as well, where it's obviously had a bit of damage in the past, and then just leave it like that for now at least. The other front mudguard was cheap, but to change it you have to take the whole front forks off, and it's a nightmare, so I'm going to leave that for now. It's just a cosmetic thing. I've been polishing up the side panels as well. That's the front, to show you what it did look like, and the front mudguard. I will show you what it looks like polished up as well. Right, so apologies for the sound. I'm in the outside toilet where the plastic's being stored. There's one of them. I've only started polishing this one. I think I've just cut it. I haven't waxed that one yet. But I've just got it out to show you a repair I did on it with plastic welding staples. You can't really see the crack on the top very well. That was a better repair. There's the other. Ooh, careful. There's the other one. It's a bit dusty, but that has been polished with, hang on, there we are, rub it off with my sleeve. That's been waxed. It's also, I got some touch-up paint in the same paint code, but I think this paint's a bit faded because it's quite a bit darker, unfortunately. So I've tried to go over some of the scratches. You won't notice it from a distance, but you can see it's quite a lot shinier than the other one. It needs waxing again. I'm going to put another layer of wax on it. There's another repair I did, but unfortunately I didn't manage to clean. Someone had tried to mend it with epoxy beforehand, so if close up you can see it's not that well lined up, unfortunately. But again, from a distance it looks pretty good, really. So next job, now I've tried that off camera, I'm going to try it on camera to fix the cracks in the front mudguard in situ by going underneath it before I put the front wheel on. So that's going to be the next job, but not today. Well, it will be today for you guys, but for me it'll be when I can next get out at the workshop. Just to give you an idea of what the before and after is going to look like, that's what we're aiming for on that panel. But for now, I'll spray WD-40 on it to start lifting some of the muck off, but it's still not amazing underneath. See if I can get you a better angle. Yeah, so that's going to get some T-cut and some wax and some colour restorer. So that is where we're at with the Vision at the moment. I've insured it. When the AT50, oh, I've got another AT50 by the way. When the AT50 comes off the road in about 2 weeks' time, the insurance is going to lapse and go straight onto this bike. So in 2 weeks' time, hopefully, I'll have an MOT on it and I'll be good to go. Okay, so I've moved the bike now to the edge of the workshop, put some cardboard down. The idea was to go underneath and attack the cracks in the mudguard from the underside. Here is the replacement mudguard I've got. As I said, I won't be fitting that today, but I think I may end up fitting that in the future, because this one, the cracks are, there's one here, there's one there, There's one across the back there, and I think there may be more around the... yeah, there's another one down here. So it is quite badly cracked. Oh, is that one there as well? Possibly one there. But I was going to attack it from underneath with the plastic welding staples, but from underneath you can see it's already been epoxied. So although it's not amazing, and it is coming away a little bit, that will do for however long it is until... that one could maybe do with a bit. That will probably do for however long it is until I take the front end apart and attach the new mudguard. So the plan for now, I was going to say we're just going to leave it and spray the ends where it's black, but having seen that, maybe I can pull some of that epoxy off and plastic weld that one edge there, because it's... yeah, that's not doing anything, is it? So we'll do that. Okay, so this is my plastic welding gun, and the way it works is that's the actual gun itself, and what you do is you plug it in, and these are the different staples. So I tend to use the wavy ones at the moment. They seem best for bridging the usual size cracks you get in bodywork, but there's some larger wavy ones like M shape, shallow wavy ones that are almost straight, and kind of like a big, I don't know, like triangle shape almost ones. So anyway, there's different ones for different applications, but the way it works is you put it in the tip of the gun, and when you turn it on, that immediately gets hot. I don't know if you can see it slightly changing colour there, going blue, and that is super hot. So cool it down a minute before we attempt this, because it would be too hot for that. This is just for demonstration purposes that I'm using this. It's a lot thinner plastic than the actual bike panel, which is going to be a problem because the main issue with these is that it's quite easy to melt through. But I will do my best. So let's do it from the outside just for ease of visualization. Heat it up, you can see the LED on the end, and once you decide it's warm enough, normally you'd clamp it in place, so this is going to be a bit wonky. Let's go that way with it, nice and warm, melt it in, let go of the heat. You can see that I've melted all the way through. So that is the issue with these. Let's try the other side. Warm it up, press it in, let off the heat and sort of push it in, leave it in place for a few seconds until the plastic dries, pull it off, and then you've got these two tangs here. Now in theory they do have a little nick in the wire just where they should snap off, but what tends to happen is it takes so much force to snap them that it actually bends the plastic, or undoes it. You see that, look, it's not doing what it should. But that is a basic idea anyway of how these work. I just tend to snip these off and perhaps grind them. So I'm going to do a slightly better job on the actual panel, hopefully. Okay, well, that's about the best camera angle we can get here. So I should probably bring the power over here, shouldn't I? Extension lead only just reaches. I still don't have power in the shed. I really should get around to that. I've got lights, but not sockets. So hopefully you can see what's going on here. Let's put the staple in the end. And then try and get some of this epoxy off. Wrong tool, really. with a flat screwdriver and get most of it off. It's mainly around the crack that's the issue. I don't need to get the whole lot off, as long as it lays fairly flat. Okay, I think we're about ready. There's a bit there that needs to go. I think to some extent there's still going to be a bit of a gap for the same reason, because of a bit of epoxy, but I think if I can get this bit off, it should lay a lot flatter. That's a lot better. So I think I'm going to start at the top and do two, one there and one a bit further down. So top and a bit further down. There's one. For this second one, I might have to go crossways if I get them apart. Come on. No, it should just fit that way around. Right, excellent. Okay, so second time. That is both of those. I'm going to go with these snips and cut those off in a minute. Cool down enough to grab it. I really don't want these flying off here, because one, they'll get me in the eyes, and two, they'll end up in my tyres, and I don't want that. Right, let's get you. I've actually got a kind of tripod here. I'm trying to invest a bit in more stuff for filming, so that we can have slightly less shit YouTube going on. Right, there we are. That is the weld from the inside. And there it is from the outside. Not perfect, but when I paint this black bit, it should be a lot less noticeable. Okay, so I haven't ordered the paint yet. I've got it in touch-up pen format, which is going to be no good for that, so I'm going to order a can of that. It doesn't matter if that happens before or after the MOT. So next up, I'm going to put the front wheel back on, which will be interesting because I didn't film it. I did it about 2 months ago, and I can't quite remember what order all the axle hardware goes on. So, trial and error time. First I'm going to clean the brakes, I think. They definitely look like they could do with it. I don't think they need greasing. I think they're all right. I think I did those before, to be fair. So we'll leave those. We're going to need the front wheel. That will be handy. Now, there go all my tyres. My tyre storage just fell over, but we're going to ignore that. So, wheel bearings are good. The friction is from my finger rubbing on the inside of there, but the wheel bearings are good, so that's alright. I think that there, that recessed bit, let's have a look. Right, so I think that spacer fits in the recessed bit there. So I think we've worked out how that goes. In fact, there's a witness mark on there. So there we are. That goes on there, so we know that. I'm going to clean the brake lining out as well. Now, the rear tyre seems to have a larger profile than the front one, which means that on the stand, the rear tyre seems to be touching the floor. which means that I may have to go back in there at some point and swap the tyres front and back, because obviously starting it on the stand, you can't really rev it without lifting the back end off the floor. So that may prove to be a problem, but I'm not worrying too much about that now. So brakes are going in. Going to hope that that lines itself up with the brake plate. Like that. My space has fallen out, but that's okay. We aren't going to panic too much yet. Right, brake spacer, sorry, wheel spacer even. Line up the brake plate again. There's the brake plate. Spacer's out once again. Let's try and get it in situ this time. There's no faffing around. So, it's quite hard to see what I'm doing, isn't it? Let's see if we can change your angle. Here's the tyre disaster that's fallen off there, but we're going to ignore that for now. We're going to put you leaning back like that and hope that you can see. So the brake plate is in its slot. The wheel spacer goes on here. The whole lot needs pivoting round so it fits behind there, and then we can just drop the axle through. Sounds easy. Doesn't seem to be that easy. Oh, there we go, hang on. Ha, daylight. That's in. But it's not lined up at the other side. You'd think this would not be that difficult, wouldn't you? Right. Let's just try again. Right, okay, I've spotted the problem. So, I was trying to get the brake plate in there, the little pin that it locates with, but I think it's actually that one it's supposed to go in, which would make it a lot easier to angle the wheel up. So let's just try that. It fits. Oh my god, that was it all along. There's the axle. There's the axle. Right, marvellous. So what we have here is, you can see, I thought it would be that groove that it goes in, but it's not. It goes into the one next to it, which means it can go a lot further down, and it's a lot easier to line that up. I didn't even seem to have enough cable length to line it up properly before, so that is perfect. Those are tucked in now. So, washer and nut. Tighten that up, and then we should be good to get the panels back on. So I'll be glad to know my tyre storage has been reinstated now. There is still a pair over there that don't fit in there, but one of them started to fall off the rack, and inside is a promo circuit and a Poot long seat. So kind of pulled the whole lot off with it, unfortunately. So anyway, that's back now. I can get working on other things. I was going to pump the front tyre up, but slightly gutted to discover that my airline. So I'm going to quickly wrap that with tape. It's a two-hand job, but quite annoying. Okay, so we're back on with the Vision, doing some more pre-MOT tidying up. So what I don't like about this back tyre is it seems a bit deeper than the old one, which means that actually the back wheel is touching the floor, so you can't rev it on the stand anymore. And I mean, I don't know if that would be an MOT fail, but it certainly, I imagine, would get mentioned by the MOT man, which I'm not keen on. And also, I don't want it falling over in the wind or anything daft like that. Now, when I originally detected that there was a problem with the size of the back tyre, I thought I'd leave it on because larger back wheel, higher top speed in theory. But I think, to be honest, I'm going to swap them over. So having just put the front wheel back on with the new tyre, I'm going to take both wheels off, swap the tyres around and see if that improves anything. Now what then? This shitty one, I suppose. Oh dear. This shitty one, I suppose. So hope it has enough grunt. Don't want to skin my knuckles. Right, so where did that nut go? So that's a 22mm nut on the back. Need a lump of wood. Preferably big enough to go through. There we go. Lump of wood and a breaker bar. Just starting to rain, lovely. Marvellous. Right, that's the back wheel free. Washer. Of course. One rear wheel. Now we need some chocks. Okay, so we need some wooden blocks under the front. So lift the front wheel off the ground. Is that enough? Let's go back a bit. There we go. Cool, cool. I believe it's a 12 and a 17 to get this axle off. So I think that's about it for today, I'm afraid, guys. I've actually edited this down from 4 hours of footage to just over an hour. We're half an hour in at the moment, so we'll call it a day for today. The next video I think will be a tutorial on changing tyres and a giveaway for some fancy tyre levers I've got for you, and some stickers and other things as well, so stay tuned for that. And then we'll finish it off in another video after that, the other sort of half hour of footage roughly, to get it up to the MOT. There'll be Wartburg videos sprinkled in with that as well. I'm in the middle of doing the brake calipers at the moment, and then hopefully it won't be too long before that's on the road as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.